I was not supposed to work that day.
This is the Fox's Pizza along Allegheny River Boulevard. Police responded just before 4 p.m. yesterday, and officers found that man inside shot several times.
And so there's some dude standing in the middle of the kitchen. The gun slides across the floor like in the movie. You know what I mean? I'm like, fucking go get the gun. Go get the gun. As I'm fighting him, I'm taking him to the ground. My legs break. My femurs break. Both of them. Then, yeah, so I still got this bullet right here in me. You see that right there?
Oh, I see it.
And I'm like, thinking like, what is going on?
You just got shot right in the middle of the chest.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast, where the conversations are raw, real, and relatable. I am your big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch, Shaun. And joining me today is Greg Scampone.
What's up, bro?
What's up, dude? How are you? Welcome to our home.
Thank you for having me.
Greg, on March 6, 2022, your world was flipped upside down. Yeah. And then again, on October 22nd, 2024, your world was flipped upside down.
Yeah.
For two totally different reasons, which I'm not going to give away yet. But you've lived quite the life. Mm-hmm. A lot of bad, a lot of good, and then a lot that I have no idea about.
Yeah.
We've known each other officially for probably 15 total minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
other than seeing each other in the gym, yeah.
Yeah, like passing by, saying, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
But, you know, I originally heard about you through some news articles of one of the events that I alluded to.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that. But if you're a first-time viewer, thank you for joining. Please subscribe. Please like. It helps Greg. It helps me. I'm trying to grow the channel. And if you're a returning viewer, I love you. Thank you. All right, Greg, you sit here today.
Yeah.
Gone through a lot of life experiences. Mm-hmm. I want the viewer to get something out of this conversation. I want them to be helped, inspired, learn something. What do you want the viewer to get out of this?
Make sure the good outweighs the bad. Life can be taken at any moment. And, you know, who we are, I think, matters. And what we do matters. And you have a chance to help people, you know, no matter what it is you do. So make sure the good outweighs the bad.
How much of the good is perspective?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different perspectives. That's a good question. So it's I guess it's kind of, you know, what you value and
Right.
whatnot.
Because what's good for me
Might not be good for
might
you.
not be
right?
good for you.
Right.
And it's hard to always be positive, and it's easy to let life kind of pass you by and not appreciate the finer things in life. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I know you have a newfound appreciation of life.
I do.
As do I.
Yeah.
So
100%.
we can relate when it comes to that. But Greg, I want to know more about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've seen the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
I know some highlights about your life, but there's much more to you than that.
Yeah.
So I want to know who you are from a person, and typically that starts with your childhood. So
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk me through your childhood a little bit?
Yeah. You know, I'm an Italian kid, so that actually means a lot for an Italian.
Yeah.
You know, other people might not, but it's big to me. And
So you value family.
yeah, 100%. And, you know, through some of those bad times, which we'll get into, you know, family's like the main thing. And I've learned that that's, you know, what really matters. But yeah, Italian family, you know, eating gabagool and all that good stuff. And played a lot of sports, so football, basketball, baseball. And just grew up in a competitive family environment. You know, sports was kind of like a way of life.
Yeah. Were you in
For us
Pittsburgh
growing
all your life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Penn Hills, Verona. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Good relationship with your parents and
yeah. Yeah, we had, you know, kind of a crazy Italian family. So there's a lot to that.
So coming from an Italian, explain what crazy Italian family means, because you hear that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you do hear that all the time, and I think everyone's always like, that's like the kind of like the cliche, like
Yeah.
crazy Italian family. What, you know, what does that mean? It means a lot of different things, but mainly it's what it says. I mean, you know, loud, a lot of drinking, a lot of arguing, but like friendly arguing debate. You know what I mean? So
Passionate.
it's like a joke. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you know, stuff like that. So it's just people coming and going. So like the house is like the center, like, you know,
It's like a
we grew up.
revolving door.
I grew up next to my grandparents. So, you know, I'm a 10-year-old kid hanging out with like 40 to like 70-year-olds, and there's like 10 of them, you know, at my grandparents' house. That was kind of like where everyone met. And then that's not Sunday. That's Tuesday morning. So, you know, because we're Italian, not everyone works all the time. You know what I mean?
So many stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are true. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it was like Tuesday, Wednesday mornings. There was like 10 people there. You know what I mean? And it was just like a way of life. It was a cool way to be brought up. I take a lot of pride in it, and like it's a lot of. I had a lot of really good times, and like, you know, just looking back on it, it's funny because now I'm 37, and you know my dad's in his 60s, my uncles are in their 60s.
Pretty young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who me or that?
Well,
Yeah.
okay, you're pretty young.
Yeah.
No, but like 60-some-year-old
Yeah.
father, that's young.
Yeah. But it's cool to like, you know, now we're like kind of on the same level, and you know, when you're young, you know, they're your uncles and dad and all that
Authority.
stuff. Yeah, authority.
Now
right?
you're more friends.
Yeah, now we're more friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a cool.
How was
thing to-
school for you? Did you have a lot of friends? Were you popular? Were you
Yeah,
bullied? How was that?
I would say I was popular. You know what I mean? I was a good athlete, so I feel like good athletes are always popular. But kind of like, I was also, I'm not gonna say bullied. I had a lot of problems with older kids from a young age, so I fought a lot of older kids. They just didn't. I was into rap music. They liked different music. You know what I mean?
Got it.
More like emo stuff and or punk rock,
Mhm.
and that was not me. So there was a lot of, I was just always fighting them, but yeah, wasn't like a bullying situation.
Okay, just
yeah,
disagreements and
disagreements.
not seeing eye
I
to
was a
eye.
big kid when I was like in 7th grade. I was like 5'7" or 5'8", probably 140 pounds. So I was. I'm 5'10", 190 now. So it didn't.
Yeah.
You know, didn't continue, but yeah.
What did you do out of high school?
I messed around for a couple years, nothing really serious, and then I think I was 19 or 20. I started doing construction. I was a drywall finisher for a union company, and that was like my first real taste of like being an adult. You know what I mean? Like tough work, and so you start work at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and you're a cocky 19-year-old kid.
Did you get put in
Tumbling.
your place?
I did, but I was also like a really good worker. So I would get, I earned my keep, I guess. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so I was an argumentative person, but it was fun. It was all in good fun. And there were some fights, but you know, yeah, it was a humbling thing for me, honestly.
Yeah.
It taught me how to be a man at 19. You know what I mean? Or start to learn how to be a man.
Got it. So construction led into what next? How long did you stay into that?
Probably till I was about 30, till when I bought the Oakmont Foxes.
Okay.
But that was off and on because I was in bodybuilding, and I was kind of like taking time off to do shows and focus on that, you know, because that was a big focal point of, you know, my life at that
It's
time.
definitely time consuming too.
Yeah, and I was kind of like in it. I mean, like I was like, you know, for me, I'm like an all in or all out kind of person,
Mhm.
and I've always been like that. So once I made up my mind, it was just like I got to do this, and you know, I had my plan, and that was it. I didn't like to deviate at all.
You seem very structured.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when I was like, you know,
I've gotten away from that a little bit,
okay.
but yeah, for the most part, I'm structured. Yeah,
Because when we were setting up like the time to record today,
yeah,
you're like, I'm gonna be early.
yeah. So
I was
I'm
like,
early.
well, how early?
Yeah, I'm all. It's funny. Like my cousin, we always joke because they were the oldest in our family, and I'm early for everything. It's just, and I don't like tardiness. I don't like late. You know what I mean? But,
I'm sure you've heard the phrase, but being late shows that your time is more valuable than everyone else's time.
100%. I hate my time being wasted.
And there is truth to that. And
100%.
if you always run late and you feel triggered, good.
Yeah.
But it's true. If you're late for something, that means you are more important than what you're going for.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's start with work, with everything. You know what I mean? I just, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to be there on time. I think it's a responsibility thing.
Yeah.
So,
I was like, 3 o'clock, and you pull right up. Like, my
dude,
man.
you know what's funny about that? That worked out kind of like, I saw your text and it was like, please come at 3 o'clock. And I was like, it's like, it was 2:36 when I looked at that text, and I was like, and I GPS'd it and it said 24 minutes. I was like, there's no way that this is freaking
That's
like
wild.
Yeah. I was like, dude, but I feel like when you're on time, things like that happen. So like, you know, like it's always, you're running into those situations.
So bodybuilding, what got you into doing that? I know you were an athlete for a lot of your life, so you were probably exercising a lot, but what made you actually commit to doing that? Because that's an extreme sport.
Yeah. Probably just that. I was just an athlete and I wanted to compete, and competition was over for me at whatever age that was. I think it was 26 is when I started to compete, or 27. You know, and I had been in the gym, and, you know, guys would come up to me, and I feel like people say that to people all the time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, do you compete? It's also like a pickup line guys use on girls. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that. You know what I mean? But yeah. So, you know, some guys like, well, actually, I talked to some guys when I was like 23, and I was natural, and they were like, you should do a show. You'd be really good. And I was going through everything. I stuck to the diet. I was doing really good. I was like, I think I started off at like 190. I got down to like 178 or something like that. And I got hurt and I couldn't do the show. And I was like 23. And then that was kind of it. And then 3 years later, I was just like, 3 or 4 years later, I was like, I'm going to do this. And I started. And I really don't remember why or how. It was just like, somebody said something about the Pittsburgh show, and I was like, I'm going to win it. And I didn't, but eventually. But
When did you win it?
2017.
In Classic, correct?
Yeah, Classic.
How did that feel to win Mr. Pittsburgh?
It was huge to me at the time. It was like, for bodybuilding, I think, like the phrase, like the term or whatever you want to call it, Mr. Pittsburgh is a big deal. And it's like a point of pride. So to win that was huge. I mean, and if you're in bodybuilding, you know, when you win the Pittsburgh, as far as projection, you know, that's a big deal. So you win the Pittsburgh, you're kind of headed in the right direction as far as bodybuilding goes. Yeah. And so it was a goal of mine. I did it in 2016. I had no clue what I was doing. I mean, no clue. I saw this guy like 4 or 5 weeks before the show. He was like, you look like crap, dude. Like, he was like, you do not look good, you know? And I was like, oh man. I'm like, what does that guy know? And then I talked to somebody else that I did know, and they were like, yeah, dude, you're not ready. And
It's like, damn.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah. So I did like a 4 or 5 week, like just balls to the wall, and I got ready. And I'd placed third. And but I still had no clue what I was doing. It's your first show, my first show. I didn't, you know, I thought I was better than what I really was. So
That Italian attitude.
yeah. I mean, you got to be confident, you know, especially in that. I mean, you got to be, you know, if you're really trying to, you know, some people just do shows just to do it for themselves. I really wasn't. I was doing it for the competitive aspect of it.
Did you stay natural?
No.
You can't at that level,
No,
right?
no, yeah. I mean, if you're doing it to win, no. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, there is some guys, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, asterisk.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, but no, I was not natural.
Did you plan on making bodybuilding like part of your life forever, or was this just like a really short-term goal for you?
So like when I first got into bodybuilding, I really didn't even understand, other than like to me, the Pittsburgh show was kind of like the pinnacle, you know what I mean? And so I really didn't understand everything about that. And I did really, after a while, I did want to turn pro, like really bad. After I won the Pittsburgh, I really wanted to turn pro.
Well, because now you're like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
I'm in it.
Yeah,
I'm in it. Like
Yeah.
when you succeed at something and you get that feeling, yeah,
you want more.
You want more. I want more. You know, and it was just like every day, I want more. I want more. I want to be the best. I want to be the best. And I wanted to do it faster than what the norm was too. You know what I mean? That was my own thing. Looking back on it, it wasn't right. If I would have taken my time, there's a chance I'd still be doing it today. You know what I mean? But I burned myself out, and I didn't really even enjoy it after a while. But I do remember telling a guy that coached me for when I won it in 2017. I was like, if I don't turn pro in 2 years, like I'm not going to do this. And he's like, nah, man, like, you know, because it's not normal to turn pro in 2 years after you just win a show. It's a tough sport.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, man, you don't know me. Like, you know, 2 years and that's it. Like, if I don't do it, like, I'm done. And it actually worked out that way. Not planned, but it was about 2 years. And I didn't turn pro and I was done. But not for, it was for different reasons.
Sure. So, Greg, bodybuilding is tough mentally. You look fantastic for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like you're at your peak physically. How did you feel when you were not at that point?
It's funny because like when I just wanted to eat. I was always so hungry. And so when you're at that point, you don't even care. You just want to eat, or at least I just wanted to eat. That was all I could think about was like donuts and cheeseburgers, and, you know. And then once you do that, you're like, shit, like I shouldn't have done that, you know. So it's a tough thing to deal with. I always wanted to be lean, but I just couldn't.
Like food too much?
Yeah, I liked food. It was like an addiction for me. You know what I mean? Like it's, and I have an addictive personality. So it was like, yeah, I mean, and I couldn't really get fat. It was hard for me to get fat. So I just saw it as like, well, you're not fat.
You're
so.
bulking.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a terrible way to bulk. You know what I mean? Not good for you.
No.
So, yeah.
So maybe, and this isn't being devil's advocate, but maybe it is, maybe you didn't really have what it took mentally to be the pro.
Yeah.
Maybe you liked food too much to get to that leanness and that conditioning that you need to be.
I agree, 100%. I didn't have the discipline, and I'm glad, because it's a hard life to live, you know? And I ended up kind of really away from people, my family, you know, single guy, didn't really, I had friends, but they were kind of in bodybuilding and weren't my normal friends, you know what I mean? Because you kind of alienate yourself, because it's a selfish sport. It's a
Very
tough life to live. And so, yeah. And like I said, I ended up not liking it. So the discipline was not there. It's funny because it was like whenever I was disciplined, I was super in it. Like you couldn't get me to...
Couldn't break it all.
Yeah, couldn't break it all. I mean, I'd gone 6 months without a cheat meal, which was a long time. And then the minute I did, it was like...
Floodgates open.
Yeah, floodgates. And that's why I say it was like an addictive personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see myself in you a lot as far as that goes.
Yeah.
It's just like once you get that taste,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, what's the point now?
What's the point? Exactly. Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah.
You ruined it already.
Yeah.
So, but you know, that's what you think, but that's not reality.
You can reverse a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That's not reality.
Or
you know?
It's just an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's too late. No, it's
Yeah.
not. Now, I know you're not all into bodybuilding, and I know the show's called Barbells and Bourbon. It doesn't mean every single guest we have on here is into fitness or bodybuilding. Barbells represent strength, and Greg sitting here is a sign of his strength. We're opening up about very personal things and very intimate things, and we're going to get a little bit deeper here soon. So, you mentioned a pizza shop. What happened? How did that all start?
So I was doing construction, and I was bodybuilding. And my dad was like, my brother told me that my dad had bought a Fox's pizza shop. And I was like, what? What do you mean?
Could you be any more Italian?
Yeah, well,
Well, Fox's isn't.
yeah, exactly.
It's pizza, but
it's so that's why it was like weird for me actually, because we're like super Italian, and I grew up like that. And this is not to say anything, but like Fox's wouldn't be pizza's Italian, but it wouldn't be like a super Italian. It's not.
No,
It's not Italian, right?
No,
you know
it's
what
not.
I mean? Like it's.
I
Not,
know
it's not
the
saying anything
owner
bad
of.
about.
Yeah, and he's not a. Is he Italian?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think he is.
I don't think so.
How ironic.
Yeah, good guy, but that's
Sure.
not. Yeah, it's not a knock or anything like that. But so I was just like, oh, that's just different. You know what I mean? Than kind of how we grew up. So it was a shock, and I was bodybuilding, but I was doing construction at the same time. So I was getting ready for the North Americans. This was my last show. So I was like, let me. I was like, Dad, do you need help, like opening up anything? Like I'm gonna be off work anyways. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get laid off on purpose and focus on this show. But you know, I could help you with whatever you need. And one thing led to another. You know, I ended up somehow getting involved, and we were like, we're gonna buy a lot of these. That was like kind of like our plan, you know. And so I, you know, I'm from Verona, Oakmont. The Oakmont store is there. It's Fox's, and I want to buy it, but it's not for sale. So I was just like, Dad, let's just go. Let's just go down and tell them we want to buy it, and I did that. And somehow we made a deal, and I bought it. And yeah.
So you knew nothing about running a business or owning a business. You were in construction.
I worked in a pizza shop one time for like a couple months when I was like 19.
So you saw kind of the behind the scenes of it.
A little bit, you know what I mean? Like, but you're 19. You're not paying attention to
You're just doing your job.
just
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, trying not to do your job. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
So what were the challenges opening this place up?
I mean, there's so many challenges when you're opening a business. It's pretty crazy. I mean, so the Oakmont location was, we did some construction there. I wanted to shut it down because we weren't going to do a grand opening or anything like that. I wanted to shut it down because I wanted people to know that there was a change in ownership. My dad built the Harrison City store, so there was like construction going on there for months, maybe 2-3 months or whatnot. So people would come in all the time, and they were interested, and I wanted to build some interest. I feel like there's two reasons why you would buy a business. One is because it's good, and two is because it's bad.
Yeah.
And I chose two. It was they had run the business bad, and I wanted to bring that back to Oakmont. I was from where it's where I'm from. You know what I mean? It's my community. I went to high school there, played sports there. I have a name there, so I felt like it was something that I could do. So overcoming that was a challenge in itself. Just the fact that the name wasn't good there.
Okay. So changing the reputation.
Yeah, changing the reputation. Yeah, and that wasn't, it was the way that the previous owners had it.
How do you even start doing that?
Yeah.
Other than the product selling
I don't
itself,
know. Yeah,
you
you start slowly. You know what I mean? It's like a one day at a time thing. We've had a lot of signs out there, social media. The same way you would start any other business.
Now, did you advertise new ownership?
Yeah, 100%. That was like
Because that would be important, right?
Yeah, that was like the big sign outside, new ownership, and we kept that out there for a while. The tough thing about like buying an existing business is, like Google. If you buy an existing business, they don't let you start over.
It's all those bad reviews,
Which is ridiculous.
come
Yeah.
along with it.
Yeah, so we were like a 3.6 or something like that. It was pretty bad, And that was like a huge thing to overcome, which I hate Google reviews anymore because I don't know. I just don't, I don't trust people, but they could say whatever they want. Sometimes as a owner or employee in the service industry, you want to write reviews on bad customers. And it's not a thing.
Yeah.
I wish, or maybe it is, I don't know, but.
Yeah, it's not like they're audited.
No, right. That's what I'm saying.
For validity,
yeah,
you know?
Right. I've had people say crazy stuff, and, you know, it's not like we get 20 bad reviews. I'm not saying that, but there's been like 3 that, you know.
You can typically weed out, and not to go down a rabbit hole here, but when you're going through reviews and you have like a 4.5, 4.6, which is really damn good.
Yeah.
And you see a couple that are like, this is the worst experience ever. It's just like,
yeah.
Was it though?
Yeah.
Or are you just an asshole and nothing's ever good enough for you?
Well, it's like, this is the tough thing too about it being like a corporation. You know, I'm a franchisee, but you know, it's a corporate thing. Is sometimes I just with, you know, bad customers, I just be like, look, just get the hell out of here. Like, I don't want you here. You know what I mean? And you have to watch with that but that's my nature. That's really who I am.
Customer's not always right. In
I
Greg's
don't believe
book.
that. Yeah, like
It's not right.
There's no way that the customer's always right.
No way.
And, like for me too. You know what I mean? But like, I have something to stand on. Like, and it's like integrity. I believe in integrity. That's big to me. Integrity. And I don't know that always happens in the social media world today. You know. Mm-mm. So, you know, I'd rather any wrong that I do, I'll fix it. You know, that's just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's business, right? That's what you do.
Yeah, you want people coming
Yeah,
back.
I want people coming back.
And you're under the pressure of creating a new reputation. So you're probably even working extra hard.
100%.
The kissing ass left and right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was young, yeah. I mean, not really. So I mean, like, when I first opened, dude, I was a different dude then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I threw a date out in the beginning of this, March 6th, 2022.
Yeah.
I said that was a day that your life was literally flipped upside down. Can you walk me through that day?
Yeah. It was a normal day. It was a Sunday. It was very, it's weird, but it was a beautiful day, actually. It's really what I remember about the day. You know, I remember a lot about that day, but it sticks out to me. It was like, I was in a really good mood. I was half hungover. Yeah, it was.
But still in a good mood.
Yeah, I was still in a great mood. Yeah, I roll with the punches, and yeah, it was just a nice day. I took a selfie that day, and like I still have it because it's just so weird. You know, to like look back, to think back on things and be like, oh, at 10:30, I took this picture of myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was all normal. It was this Sunday. I had a buddy of mine delivering pizza. I was not supposed to work that day. My manager had worked a lot, and I told him, I said, dude, take off Sunday. I'll cover for you. I don't like working Sundays. I never did. It's just my thing. I'm Italian. I want to be, and I might not have been at home with my family, but I mean, that's basically what I like
freedom
to
do. Yeah. It's your off day.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was like, I'll cover for you. Don't worry about it, dude. You know? And so then I had another driver, and I had a young girl working. And that was like the early shifts. It was like, you know, 11 to 4, and then we closed at 8, so then more people would come in throughout the day. So, yeah, pretty normal day. And then all hell breaks loose.
What time of the day did this start?
3:45. No, well, it ended at 3:45. So between 3:30 and 3:45, but I don't even think it was that long, really. You know what I mean? It happened pretty quick. So I'm just, normally I would work the front end of the pizza shop, but the young girl that I had, she wanted to be a manager or a shift manager. She was a really good kid. So I was like, I'm going to put you on the front end, and I'm going to make pizza today, which very rarely happened at that point. You know what I mean? I had a pretty I'm not gonna say good staff, but I had a lot of people there. So I'm just standing there, and there's like 7 or 8 people in the dining room eating, and then a delivery goes out. So my friend goes on this delivery. He's a big dude. I mean, he's like, I don't know how much he weighs, but he's a big, rough dude. You know what I mean? He's in the boxing and shit like that. And so there's some dude standing in the middle of the kitchen, and she's like running towards me really fast, and her face is beet red. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And why is this guy standing there? But he had a mask on, but like a bandana. But like, dude, it was 2022, and it was removed from COVID, but people still wear masks, right? And I hate that. I always have, even before this. I hated it. I just think it's a ridiculous thing. Yeah, so I walked towards him like, yo, dude, you gotta get the hell out of here. What are you doing? You know what I mean? I didn't know if he was like eating food and like looking for trash or what. Like, it was just weird. He was just standing there. Hands weren't up or nothing. And as soon as I walk up, he just points a gun at me, you know? And I'm like, oh shit. And I kind of like swerved away from him towards the cash registers. And it's like weird when it happens, you know what I mean? You're like, what's going on? And so, you know, I get my mind right, and like, you're being robbed. It's not funny, but it's just so weird that he would think to rob that place. I just don't get it still. I mean, I don't think it's a very smart move, you know what I mean? I don't think that he planned on seeing me there either, to be honest with you. So he's like, give me the money. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll give you the money. Like, when something like that happens, like, I don't know how, you know, what you've been in like fighting situations or whatnot, but shit, it slows down. Yep. So it's like, you're like taking pictures of like things that are happening, you know what I mean? It's like you're processing things, like you need to process things at a high level, and it needs to be right. So it's like everything kind of just like stuck out to me. Like, you know, like if I'm like searching like this, like there's a trash bag on the table and there's a can of Raid right there. And I'm like, why is that there? You know what I mean? And I'm like, grab the Raid and spray him. But I'm like, no, that's dumb. He has a gun. Like, you know. So anyways, I get the money. I put the money on the thing. He's like, give me more money. I'm like, dude, there's no more money, bro. Like, this is it. He's like, there's another register there. I'm like, it's not even, we don't use that register. I use one register. So I'm like, I'll get it. I put it out on the thing. I'm like, there's no money in it. Nothing. And somehow we like kind of like walked towards each other. Like, there was some distance. When he first put the gun to me, like, I kind of like created some distance, which I don't think was a good thing to do. So yeah, so somehow we kind of came like towards the front of the shop, and we were maybe like from me to you away. Okay. As far as like his gun is, you know, this, you know, 3 feet away from me. And he's like, you know, I need more money. I'm gonna start shooting. I'm like, dude, there's no more money here, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is not a bank. Like, we're a small pizza shop. It's 3:45 in the frickin' afternoon. And he's like, if I don't get more money, I'm gonna start shooting. And I was just like, fuck it, dude. Like, I just went at him. You know, I just felt like, if he's gonna shoot me, I'm gonna die. Where's he gonna shoot me? In my leg? No, he's gonna shoot me in the head. You know, he has the gun pointed at my head. So I just grabbed him, and I like started throwing him back, which I probably shouldn't have done that either. You know what I mean? But, you know, you got adrenaline, you're fired up. You know, I was trying to get the gun away. You know, I like, we're talking about it right now, I could feel the energy in me right now, because it's just, it's a moment, man, and you're fired up. You know what I mean? You're fired up, you're scared. You got 1,000,001 different things you're thinking of. Like, I'm the guy that has to answer for this. It's no one else. You know what I mean? So yeah, I push him or throw him, whatever. He starts falling back, and he shoots me right in my chest, like right here. Boom, right off the bat. Like, and I'm like, holy fuck. And it hit me. And I'm like thinking, like, what is going on? You know,
you just got shot right in the middle of the chest.
Yeah. And crazy thing is like he shoots me and I'm like, fucking kill this guy. Because it's the only way out of this. There's no way out of this. So I'm going towards him. I'm trying to kill this guy. I mean, it's the only way I have.
He's trying to kill you.
He's trying to kill me. I'm going to kill him. So he shoots me again in the stomach. And then he shoots me again, and I put my hand up. So I got like a defense wound or whatever. You know what I mean? And I say this all the time, man. Like I got shot like right here the first time, and then right around here the second time, and I put this hand up right here, and I swear to God that this hand saved my life.
That's where your heart's at.
It was right where my heart's at. Now this bullet was like, I don't know how close, it was pretty close to my heart. But then, yeah, so I still got this bullet right here in me. You see that right there?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't even.
That's a bullet in you.
Yeah, I got 3 in me. Yeah. So I get a hold of this guy again. I'm like taking him to the ground. As he's going to the ground, somehow he shoots me in the legs 3 times. And, you know, as I'm fighting him, I'm taking him to the ground. My legs break. My femurs break. Both of them. And, yeah, because what happens is the bullets, they bounce around in you. Okay, so it wasn't like a 9mm or anything like that. So they bounce around, and that's what causes all the damage. It's not like there's no I didn't have any exit wounds or anything like that, thank God. But you know, but they do damage inside when they're just, you know, ricocheting off whatever it is, bone, whatever. So I'm on top of him and I'm fighting him, trying to get the gun. I get the gun out, and like I tell everyone, like it is like movies, man. Like the gun slides across the floor like in the movies. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm like, fucking go get the gun. Go get the gun. I try to stand up and I can't. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm paralyzed. But, you know, I didn't really feel any pain at that point. And yeah. So I'm just looking at the gun and I can't move. I'm spent. I can't breathe. You know, my hand is like all jacked up. Like, I don't know what, you know. So he gets up and he goes and gets the gun. Yeah. And like I said, it wasn't, you know, he only had like 6 shots in there, 5 shots plus 1. And it was the other weird thing. I was counting, you know what I mean? So like I knew, like, you know, how many, it was, you know, 22 or 25. Like I know how many bullets are in that gun. And so I knew he was like probably close to out or out. But he grabs the gun, and he comes back, and I'm fucking laying there, and he starts kicking me in my ribs, and he's like screaming at me and shit, and I'm like, oh damn. And then he just walks away. Yeah.
Did you think when he came back,
Yeah,
he
I
was
thought
coming
that
back
was
to
it.
kill you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. But I mean, he needed that gun. I'm not trying to be a tough guy or nothing like that, but like that kid didn't stand a chance. Like I just was gonna freaking kill him. I'd never had felt an energy like that.
Like a pure hatred of.
No,
I don't want to say hatred, but
not hatred, but just like an energy of like life or death. You know what I mean?
Survival,
Yeah, survival. Yeah, like
fight or flight is
yeah,
this?
fight or flight. Yeah, right. It's just like it was real. You know what I mean? And it was just like you want to live, you go get him.
So there's other people in the store still?
Yeah. So the girl, I don't know how she knew how to do this, but she did, and like thank God she locked herself in the walk-in cooler. I feel like she recently was in a class for that or something like that. Like I had heard, I don't know, but she was in high school, you know. So somehow she did that. She knew. Very, very good on her part. But yeah, so there was like 6 to 8 people eating in. There was a family. Like minutes before this happens, the Oaks Theater had let out maybe 200 people. So there was like so many people, you know, walking
the streets,
walking on Allegheny River Boulevard in Oakmont, which I mean, if you know Oakmont, like it's like there's a lot of people there.
Yeah,
it's, you know, but it was Sunday, so there's not a lot of people. So, yeah. And yeah, those people were kind of, I would say they were pretty shook up. You know what I mean? Try to give me a towel. You know, I mean, I understand that, but you know, he was nervous. It was a guy with his family, so it wasn't like it was like 6 dudes. You know what I mean? It was, you know, a guy and his wife and
Someone who just went there to eat.
yeah, someone just, you know, they're not
save someone's life.
Yeah, right, 100%. So yeah.
So he walks out.
Mm-hmm.
Did they catch him?
Yeah, they did catch him like 3 weeks later, which is a long time. He robbed like 3 other places right after that. Actually, one of the real things that really freaking gets me, you know, so we went to court and everything like that, and it's a federal case because he was a convicted criminal or whatnot. So they have him driving down Allegheny River Boulevard, and it's like he Googles at night to see if I died. I mean, there's all these weird things, but when I heard that in court, I was just like, man, this is insane. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't get attempted murder, but I'm like, he tried to kill me.
Yeah.
You know?
He's checking to see if you're dead.
Yeah, he's checking to see if I'm dead, and then he goes and does it again, and he robs 3 more places. One of them, he shoots somebody and they like grazes them in the stomach. But before that, he told them like, "Give me the money or I'm gonna kill you." So like, if he says that now, like after he just shot somebody 6 times, how's that not attempted murder? That's a whole nother story, though. I mean, that's
The judicial system.
Yeah, it's bullshit, man.
It is definitely
You know
bullshit.
what I mean? Like, and I feel like I was like, I had a lot like. I was represented right. Like, I didn't have an attorney, but like I felt like the people were steering me in the right direction. But like all the while, I could feel like the judicial system was out to do what they wanted to do, and that was really what they wanted. And it was not like for victims or for anything other than let's just play it safe. You know what I mean? And I don't believe in that.
You would think a convicted felon would
100%.
get it a little bit rougher.
Yeah, I mean, he got 25 years in a federal prison. I get it, but you know, there's no attempted murder. That's the thing. There's no attempted murder. You know, I don't care about who does what. I mean, I have a right to stand up for myself. You know, that's like my house.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't have a gun license, but I own my own business, legally I'm allowed to bring my gun to that business. That's like my house, you know. So
they convicted him of robbery?
yeah, it was a bunch of Hobbs robbery stuff, you know.
Just
Bullshit
charges.
Yeah, bullshit. I mean, it's not bullshit. Like it's what happened. You know what I mean? And then there was the ATF that's involved because he robbed like a gas station. So there's alcohol, tobacco, firearms, right? Yeah. So the gun was illegal. But number one, he can't carry a gun. Number two, I think the serial numbers were scratched out.
Of course.
Yeah.
What did it feel like to get shot?
Like at the time, it doesn't feel like anything. You don't even know. I mean, like I know, but like you don't feel like it's not like somebody hit you in the hand with a hammer as you're sitting here. You know what I mean? You just have so much in you that it's like, I mean, he could have fucking shot me 10 times and I still probably would have kept coming. You know what I mean? Like it's just the only thing that you're thinking is survival.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, it's a serious feeling, man. Like, you know.
When did it finally settle in about what happened? Like you're laying there bleeding.
Yeah.
People are trying to help you.
Pretty quick. I mean, he left, and everyone's always like, you were in shock. I guess, so there ends up being a lot of people there, which I'll get into, but I was pretty like just no pigment. Like I lost all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but pretty quick, like it was about survival. You know what I mean? It was like, there's no time to think about like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. Like you got to do what you got to do to live. You know what I mean? And for me, that was get out of the fucking pizza shop. Like I just got to get out of here. I didn't feel like I wanted to. I couldn't be in there. I needed to get out there. Somebody needed to see me, so I crawled.
So your home,
Yeah,
is not safe anymore.
no, it never will be. Yeah, it's, I don't think, I think I deal with it pretty well, you know. And that was like the first thing I did when I got to the hospital was like, I got to go there. I got to get this out of the way, because if I don't, I might not
Ever go back?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's like that was a whole thing. I didn't have many like PTSD things where it's like moments of like flashbacks and shit like that. You know what I mean? But that was when I went back that first time, it was like I could hear the bullets in my head. You know what I mean? It's just like, it was just a weird feeling. But, to answer your question, it was like very quick where I realized I had to get out of that pizza shop to live.
So you probably just wanted to get out because you didn't feel safe, but you probably wanted to be seen too.
I wanted to be seen, yeah.
Like
So
someone
like,
help me.
Yeah, like the, like I said, I think the people that were there were pretty shook up. I don't know if they were in shock or not. I can't speak to that because I can't even see them. You know what I mean? Like I really couldn't see anything but like me. And so I'm like, you got to get out of here, man. You gotta. But I couldn't walk. So I just started crawling, or not crawling. I was pushing my. I was on my ass.
Like kind of like crab walking.
Yeah.
Without your legs.
Yeah. So I'm like pushing myself, but my legs are like snapped in half, man. Like, I mean, like my legs are like freaking this. You know what I mean? Like it's like pretty nasty. So yeah. So I'm like pushing myself out, and I like fling the door open somehow. Then I just throw myself into the street, and I'm lucky I didn't get hit by a car, really, to be honest with you, because it's a pretty busy street. So, but yeah, I do that, and I'm just like, I mean, I had never screamed like that, like I need help, somebody help
You
me.
scream for help.
Yeah, and so somebody's first guy stopped, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I got shot, man. I got robbed. You know what I mean? And he was pretty sure he was an EMT, and I want to say he was a military EMT. Yeah.
Good person to
Yeah.
stop.
Right. Exactly. Like it was like he was supposed to be there.
Damn.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you get out of your truck,
Mm-hmm.
and you're walking with a limp,
Yeah.
and it's been 2.5, almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of effects do you feel from it today?
Yeah. I mean, I deal with it every day. My legs are the part that was affected the most. So I got shot. They took they took my liver out, and they fixed what needed fixed, and they put that back in. Part of I think it was my upper intestines or something like that, and put that back in. And then my spleen, they took my spleen out. So I had a bag, on me for a while. And the bullet somehow stopped in my chest before my heart. I don't know. They said that that's like a miracle. Never seen that. But I broke both of my femurs pretty bad. And my right kneecap is really the main issue, where, that bullet bounced through my kneecap. So it went through my femur and then bounced down and just kind of tore my kneecap into pieces. And, so I have rods from my left hip all the way up to my knee. My right is not quite all the way up my hip, but to my kneecap. And on that right one, I have, I think, 11 or 12 screws. And then my right one I have, or my left one, excuse me, I have like 5 to 6. So there's just a lot going on there, man, that, the right leg is the issue. So when you break like 2 of something, you favor one, and one heals better and one doesn't. Now, I had a walker for like 2 or 3 months, or what, I don't know if I used it that much, but yeah, so the right knee just, I don't know. Well, the screws are coming loose. I forgot. Yeah. That's on the right leg. So like if you did an x-ray, and this was a screw, you know, you'd see these shadows over the screw, and that's kind of like
There's
loose
some play. Yeah.
yeah. So that's like going up and down, and it started in my hip, which was like really painful, and that was this summer. So I was like golfing a lot because I just like golfing, and yeah, my hip just like started killing me, and I was like, maybe I'm just swinging. You know, I got all this hardware in there, and but I think it's just natural, you know, wear and tear. It all healed, the bones healed, but
So do you have future surgeries?
yeah. So I'm probably gonna be getting surgery sometime within the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll need another one, and you know, later in my life, more than likely. But I have arthritis in this right knee, so that's causes some of the pain. But it's mainly like inflammation. You know what I mean? I have probably like 5 or 6 screws just like lined up on top of each other like this. You know what I mean? In the right knee. So there's like clicking and you know, like, dude, I squat 40-pound kettlebells now. You know what I mean? Like, because I can't go overhead. So the range of motion, even with like therapy, was you know, the main problem.
Why is the bullet still in your arm? Is it safer to leave it in?
Yeah. So they say it's safer to leave it in, but this to me, it's like, man, if I frickin'
A reminder?
yeah, I want it out. I mean, it's
Oh, you do want it out?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually talked to them. So when I get this leg surgery, I'm gonna get this taken out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just safer to take it to leave them in. You know, like, so I have one in somewhere in this right leg, and then I have one kind of like in my back on my left side.
Yeah. I didn't know if, and sorry if this is like offensive, I didn't know if you left it in there on purpose as a reminder of what happened.
No, I didn't. They didn't even like believe me that I got shot in my hand. They were like, I don't know if they were more focused on. It was a couple days before we found out that I had this bullet in here, and I'm like, dude, I'm telling you guys, like.
So it went through your hand and then stopped in your arm.
Yeah.
Freaking wild, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even have a scar on that one actually, but yeah.
Are you mad?
Generally, no. I mean, like, I'm not going to waste energy or emotion on that. You know what I mean? When I talk about it, yeah, I'm mad. You know?
Well, yeah, you get fired up thinking about it.
Yeah,
sure.
You know, like, and I hate when people come to the pizza shop and ask me questions, because it's like, look, like, I might say I don't know what I might say. You know what I mean? You get me in a mood talking about stuff, and you know, things are pretty political now. You know, what I might believe somebody else might not think is right. I don't know that I want to talk about that in a business setting, in my place of business. You know what I mean? So I don't like when people ask me that question there. But it comes up. But yeah, no, I don't think I'm mad, man. I think I'm blessed. I got a lot of good things going on in my life right now that I'm happy and thankful for. And I'm not gonna focus on the negative in the past. You know, it's just not me. I've never really been like that.
And that's,
yeah.
I don't want to say that's crazy to me, but
yeah. I mean, it's there. It's
sure.
what I deal with it my own way.
Days.
You know what I mean?
I mean, because think about it, Greg. I mean, you don't have to think about it. You freaking lived it. But you're pretty much at your peak physical condition, more or less, at this point. You're young, you're healthy, and then it's just torn away from you.
Yeah. Well, that is the part that's infuriating to me. But I don't think it does anything to do that, to be like that. It doesn't make anything better for me. You know, being angry at somebody that doesn't comprehend, like, I don't think you can, when you deal with people like that, they don't even know what they're after.
It's like the saying, you can't argue with stupid.
You can't, you know what I mean? So like, how do you, at what point would enough be enough? So like, at what point would you stop robbing places? At what point would you have enough money? There's no reasoning with people like that. So for me to put energy into it and be like, I'm mad at this dude, if I told him anything, he wouldn't understand it.
Or he just wouldn't care.
Or wouldn't care. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do I get out of it? Anger? Frustration? I start treating other people in my life bad? No, I don't need that shit. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
It's, yeah. I just think it's wasted emotion. And, you know, we get back to the time thing. Don't waste my time. I don't want to waste my time. I know how valuable it is. And I'm not going to spend my life focusing on someone that's in a jail cell for the next 25 years when I have a beautiful wife. Well, we're not married yet. A daughter, you know what I mean? A family around me, brothers that'll fucking die for me, you know what I mean? And likewise, you know, so.
Yeah. That's a great transition, because when we started our conversation, you said how important family is to you, and you said they played a huge role in what just happened.
Yeah.
So tell me about their support.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can. I mean, they've done things that I don't know how I could repay them, you know? You know, when you're in those moments, like, it's scary, man, you know, to think, you know, hey, this is it, you know, because you have that. And, you know, like, you know, I'm laying in the middle of the street thinking, this is it. And I'm actually going through that thought. And like I said, all these people started coming. Like, it was like insane how many people got there, how fast they got there. Like, you know, Oakmont's a small town, and word travels quick, but like, you know, somebody handed me my phone as I was laying in the street, and it was people texting me what's going on at Fox's. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
I'd already heard about it.
Yeah, they had already, like, or we're across the street at the bar, you know what I mean? So, but somebody handed me my phone, and I called my now fiance, and I was like, hey, you know, this happened, and I'm gonna die. And so she came. She was right around the corner, you know, and her dad came. Her dad was randomly walking his dog by while this, you know, as I'm laying in the street. My brother, which he was randomly coming by as I'm laying in the street, you know, and he's like, I'll never forget his face, man. It was like the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Like, just because like if I would have, you know, I'm thinking like from his point of view, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, like, what the hell is going on? Like, and as soon as he gets there, I'm like, I'm all right, dude. Like, I'm fine. You know what I mean? And that was kind of like the point where it was just like, I did switch where I thought I was gonna die, and I just was like, nah, you're not. I'm not letting myself die. I don't know if you can or can't. I feel like
You're
did.
You're gonna do your best.
Yeah. You know. So, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a wild scene.
I know talking about it probably makes you feel a certain way, and I know you're probably sick of talking about it to some extent in certain situations.
I'm really not. Like, I don't talk about it on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Or like, it's just like, it's just part of my life. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, we don't really talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, talk about what I have to. You know what I mean? But it's not like a focal point or something that I dwell on.
Right.
You know.
Well. Now, you. This story is obviously like super traumatic. Something like this is not normal. But Greg's sitting here saying, what's the point of hating somebody? What's the point of being angry? Some of you probably drove down the street today or walked into a shopping center and got pissed off because someone did this or someone cut you off or someone... Okay? This isn't a competition, but this is perspective. You almost died. Literally.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you keep going, but I think you're touching on a good point. Yeah.
Guys, life is short. We all have things that irk us. is it really that important to throw your day away because of something so minuscule in the grand scheme of things? So just check yourself as nicely as possible.
Yeah, listen. My anxiety and anger has gone away a lot through this, in which a lot of people would think it would go up, but it didn't. Just for what you're saying right now, because like for me, and I tell Natalie this, I tell some of the people at the pizza shop this, like they get flustered when we're busy. Like I wish you had gone through what I went through, because you will not feel that anymore. You know what I mean? Because like what's important, you know what I mean? And like there's very few things that are actually important, you know, and you know, all those moments where you're mad at someone driving or shit like that, like, hey, look, for me, if it's not life or death and we're not going there, then it don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about like daily getting, you know what I mean? I'm talking about, you know, real anxieties and real things, you know?
Yeah. And that's honestly, dude, that's like the value I was hoping to get out of your story. And yeah, it's a shocking story, and it makes for good TV.
Yeah.
But there's something behind it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, dude. I need a drink.
Let's do it.
Are you interested?
I need a drink too. Yeah, whatever.
Shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you said that you don't drink a lot, and that's
I'm not a big drinker anymore. No.
But you know, I'm glad that you are willing to share.
I like bourbon. I don't drink. So I go in like spurts of what I like. And right now I'm on a white wine kick. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's very feminine of me. And I feel like, you know,
At least it's not a White Claw.
Yeah, I know, dude. If it was a White Claw, I don't know.
All right.
But
we're gonna do this Penelope barrel strength toasted.
I like it.
Penelope's been kicking ass with their offerings lately.
Yeah.
But this is 116 proof, Greg, so it's going to be a little warm.
Oh, buddy.
And toasted means it's been twice barreled.
Okay. So it'll get the blood flowing.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're having this now instead of before that story.
Yeah.
Because the story could have been maybe taken a
that could get you angry. You know what I mean?
Cheers, Greg.
Cheers. It stings the nostrils.
It sure does.
I don't know if you know what that's from or not.
Oh, I sure do. I threw that in one of my intros 3 episodes ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Episode with Pat. I threw that in there.
It's quite pungent.
Yes.
No, that's good, dude. I really
Tastes
like
pure gasoline. But, I mean, look, it's really strong. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But there's a sweetness and a smoothness to it.
Yeah, it's like really strong, but you could, I mean, like, wow, like it's like burning going down now. But, yeah, it's like really smooth.
Yeah.
Usually you don't.
Yeah. And that's quality stuff, man.
Yeah. I usually drink it on the rocks.
Yeah, that'll change. So, I mean, you can add a splash of water.
No.
Because it will change the taste profile a little bit.
I don't want to do that. No.
There's no wrong way to drink bourbon.
I don't like to add water, but you got to have a good rock. You can't have
like a nice circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're just like throwing in ice cubes from the frickin' freezer, just don't drink
I do that sometimes.
Wow. Okay. I mean, like, I feel like, you know, maybe you can. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Now let's take a little turn. Let's get on the lighter side of things.
Yeah.
We've been down a dark road for a little while, which has a light ending.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Natalie, your fiance, and the other date I threw out was October 22nd, 2024.
Yeah.
Another day that your world was flipped upside down.
Yeah.
The birth of your daughter.
Yeah. Amazing.
How's it feel to be a dad?
Dude, it's, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. I mean, it's just, like, I've never felt anything like that, you know. I just stare at her and I'm like amazed at her, you know, and so I love it. I mean, it's yeah, it's been fun.
It is a shock.
It's a shock. Yeah, I feel like yeah, it's been pretty smooth though. You know what I mean? Like I can't like she's a good baby.
Yeah.
Like she's like doing all the things she should when she should.
No
you know?
colic.
Yeah, no
no
colic.
gas.
No colic. Like the last like 3 or 4 nights we've dealt with it's like the witching hour. At like 8 or 9 o'clock, she just like loses it. And then I don't know, and then she's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's kind of weird because you're in charge. And I mean, I get it. I'm used to, but like, it's pretty serious.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. I mean, like she just started smiling like a little bit ago. So that's like, I mean, the first time she smiled, I was like, oh, like I'm like, Natalie, like she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, she just smiled, you know what I mean? And so it's fun. I mean, I think like a month after they smile, roughly, they start laughing. So that's like the next thing I'm looking forward to. You know, Natalie gets her to smile. I cannot. I don't do baby talk. I'm not like, I can't. I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, I can.
I can't. Yeah, I'm like, I just can't. They make fun of me.
I'm not doing it. Don't you dare ask me.
It's a hard thing to do.
It's an art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to practice more. I don't know.
No, that's the thing.
I do like peekaboo.
It just comes, like, you don't practice it.
Yeah.
It just comes
It just comes. Yeah.
You will develop your own baby talk.
Yeah.
Just wait.
I do peekaboo with no words.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because, like,
That's weird.
I know, because, like, Natalie's, like, always making fun of me in the back. I'm like, I mean, shit. Like, I know this don't sound right, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, she's looking at me like I'm a freaking idiot, you know? So, yeah,
I mean,
it's good times, honestly.
yeah. And it's like the new father. It's like
Yeah.
the honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
Like, I can see you lighting up talking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I have 3 teenagers now.
Yeah.
My oldest is 19. My
Yeah.
youngest is 15. I have a 17-year-old.
Which is, I feel like that's so crazy because you told me that on the phone the other day. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were my age.
No,
Yeah.
almost 10 years older. But my son just bought his first car yesterday.
Oh, he did.
He financed
Well, congrats to him.
his first car. He's 19. We
Is his
drove
name Shaun?
No, it's Carter.
Okay.
We drove down to Arlington, Virginia. That's where he found the car he wanted. It's only a 4-hour drive from here. Not terrible. We made a day out of it. Drove down.
So he's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Good.
I was gonna co-sign for him just because, you know, he has a short credit history and his credit's okay.
Yeah.
But he's 19 with
Yeah.
a short credit history, so
Right.
his interest rate sucks.
Yeah.
But I think it's important.
I do too.
You know, yeah, he's making a real high payment and maybe I could have got it down but
Yeah.
this is his journey. You
Yeah.
know, it's going to be a good lesson for him.
100%. Yeah. They got to start young with like the responsibility thing and like,
Yeah.
you know, especially, well, I always think for a guy, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm a dude. So I just kind of gravitate towards that, you know what I mean? But, you know, being a strong man and whatnot, you know, but it's a good thing to teach them at that age.
I think it's important. And I think kids today have lost some of the
Right.
drive to feel responsible
Right.
and the drive to be independent.
Yeah.
I think kids today are
Yeah, they're a little
Entitled?
Yeah.
Wow.
We said at the same time.
whoa. But it's true.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have just said it at the same time if it wasn't true.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
But yes, I think kids are generally spoiled, and I do blame the society, not so much the parents,
Yeah.
but the society of
Yeah.
instant gratification,
Yeah.
social media, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you know, the good thing that hopefully he gets from it, you know, where when I was young, I lacked the financial responsibility. Yes. Yeah. So I wasn't great in that, you know, which is like a big turnaround for being a business owner. You know what I mean? Like, or it's like, you know, totally opposite, you know, to being not responsible to responsible.
Yeah.
So
I sucked with money.
yeah.
When I got my first job,
yeah.
I did the same damn thing he did. I went and bought myself a car with a $550 a month car payment.
Well, yeah, me too. I did the same thing.
But
Yeah.
I wanted it.
Yeah. What? Me too.
And I could afford it. I was living at home.
Yeah.
And I hate to say he's following in my footsteps because, you know, I wasn't the best financially and I'm still paying for it today.
Yeah.
But he needs to learn his own way.
Yeah.
He needs to make his own mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, my dad always let me do that. And not that I'm some prized piece or anything like that, but I feel like it really helped me. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, as a young man, you know, or woman, you gotta learn kind of who you are and you know, grow into that, and make your own mistakes and figure out why it's wrong. And
Yeah.
you know,
What's your daughter's name?
Josephina Marie.
Beautiful.
Stuck with it. We're Italian. You know what I mean?
Josephina Marie. You got to say it. Say it with your hand.
We call her Fina.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good nickname.
Yeah. Phina. Yeah.
Were you ready to have a kid?
Yeah, I think I was.
Because you ask most parents that, are you ready? Everyone says no.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, age has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? I'm 37.
How old's mom?
She's 36. She'll be 30. Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, she's 37. What am I talking about?
You're in trouble.
Dude, no, wait. This is crazy because I always forget my age. I don't know why. I guess after a while you don't need it, but
After 21, it never matters.
it really
anymore.
doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah. So I'm going to be 38. Holy shit. That is so crazy. That's wild, dude. Yeah.
Old head.
Yeah. Yeah. I got like dad strength shit now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't lift as much as I used to, but I can still do it, you know?
Yeah. Well, you have something else to be strong for now.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Are you afraid watching her grow up? Are you afraid of the things she might be exposed to? Or haven't you thought that far ahead yet?
no, I have. And I think like in today's world, there's like so much like exposure, especially like with social media, and like things are so like kind of like out, you know, like there's a lot of stuff going on today in schools. You know what I mean? So yeah, I am worried about that. But I think if you love your kids and you raise them right, bring them up the right way, morals and all that stuff, I think that they'll find their way.
I think in my experience, and I'm no perfect parent by any means, if your children respect you and don't want to disappoint you,
Yeah,
that's a really good first start.
I agree completely. Yeah,
The last thing I wanted to do is disappoint my parents.
I think that's a great point, and like I think you brought it to my attention. Like I never thought of that actually. You know what I mean? But I think, you know, for me, that's the feeling that I had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Without that, kids are going to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, whoa. Because some kids act like the parents now.
Yeah. Well, that's
Like, you're not going to tell me what to do, mom and dad.
Yeah.
And then the mom and dad are like, ooh.
Yeah. That's the
And they
shit.
just scurry back because we don't want Susie to be upset.
Yeah. I mean, it's 100%. It's like, yeah. I mean, you got to raise your kids. You know what I mean? And me and Natalie have both, you know, decided that that's how we're gonna be. You know, it might be a little different with a girl. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, I could just smack her in the face. Not that, you know, you do that to boys, but like, I mean, I was smacked in the face as a young kid. You know what I mean? And it didn't traumatize me. If anything, it helped me. In a weird way. You look back, you know, at the time you're like, what the hell? But you look back on it, and you're like, man, I was a little shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah, it's
I just
smack
started
in the face.
Yeah, that's smack in the face threw me off too.
How did you meet Natalie?
We met in 7th grade. We went to high school
What?
together. Yeah, yeah. So we sat next to each other. Like, I was from Varner, which is like the Verona school, and she was from Oakmont, which is the
Riverside or Riverview?
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, so we went to different like grade schools, and then we met in 7th grade. We sat right next to each other, and she hated me. She hated me.
For good reason.
I was bad. I was a bad kid. Yeah, not a bad kid, but you know, I was in,
Annoying Italian kid.
yeah, I was just annoying. You know, I was fighting and always in trouble, and so yeah, she didn't like me, but yeah, we got together like senior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been together that long?
No.
Okay.
No, we have not. We dated, I don't know. You know, I'm not good with timelines for dating, but probably till I was like 20, till we were 20 or something like that, 21, off and on. But we kept in contact for years, and like, sorry for all our ex-girlfriends and boyfriends and whatnot. You know what I mean? They didn't really like that. But yeah, we kept in contact and we were always close. And I just always felt like that was like, somehow we're gonna end up together, you know. And it did. It happened. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the shooting kind of helped with that. Yeah. Her
Bringing
dad always
you-
says I staged the shooting to get back with her. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah.
I did want to ask one more question about that day, not
Yeah.
the backtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you weren't supposed to work that day.
Yeah.
What do you think when I say that? What comes to mind?
I just feel like it was meant to happen. Like I think things happen for a reason. And I don't think, and this is also why I'm not mad. I don't like, you know, looking back on it, I think my life got better. I think my life got better.
Oh, your life is pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it just opened up my eyes to a lot of things, you know what I mean? And, you know, yeah, I got a daughter. Like, never really thought that would happen. You know what I mean? You get to a certain point, you're like, hey, like, probably not gonna have
I'm
kids.
too old.
Yeah, I'm too old. You know what I mean? Like, heading in this direction. Not to mention, like, I have a past of steroids. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of things that I just thought was like, you know, hey, this.
Oh, you might not able to be had
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was hard. You know what I mean?
So you struggled.
Yeah. I had to be on ACG for a long time. So yeah, my life got better, man. But I mean, I'm about that. You know what I mean? I'm about moving forward. I'm not gonna. When I was young, you know, I was in construction, and I used to say, like, telling my dad all the time, like, hey, like, if I'm not doing construction when I'm 40, I'm doing pretty good. It's not because I'm doing bad, you know, because it was a good job. I mean, we got paid a good hourly rate. It's even better now. Sometimes I'm like, shit, I want to go back now. Like,
Some of these trades today, dude,
yeah,
you can make bank.
yeah, I know. You know what I
You
mean?
name your price.
And like drywall finishing was like on the lower end of that. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's still not like low. I think it's like close to $40 an hour plus your pack. I don't know. You know, but I'm like, I mean, I'll do that and keep the pizza shop and the real estate stuff going and just work hourly and take it easy. You know what I mean? But
do you think you saved someone else's life by working that day?
do I don't think about, I think that's for other people to decide. I did what I did. I'd do it again.
Yeah.
And if I did, I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did the right thing. And yeah, I'd do it again.
Good man. So you're in real estate? So what all do you do?
No, I'm not in real. I'm more or less a real estate investor.
So you dabble.
Yeah, I dabble.
That's from another
Yeah. I mean,
another anchor man.
I read many leather-bound books. No, but yeah, I dabble. Dude, I'm gonna watch Anchorman.
Smells of rich mahogany in here.
Shit.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I started investing in real estate. I got into investing really like in the stock market and investing during COVID. Yeah, I mean, I own a pizza shop. It's not really what I love to do. You know, I love
work.
Yeah, it's work. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's just not my passion. You know, it never was, and I knew that going in. I like business in general. I have a passion for business. You know what I mean? But I don't have a passion for. I don't get like satisfaction out of making a lot of pizza. You know.
Yeah. Do you think it would be different if it wasn't a
Yeah.
franchise?
I do, but also my mind, like, always goes beyond that. You know, like recently, like I was working on something that I don't think is going to happen now, but I was looking into buying something, and it would have been a real estate / like deal for something separate that would have, involved food. Um, but I don't think that's going to happen, not because of me, but um, yeah, I was looking forward to like being me, you know,
Yeah.
being Italian and and sharing that, you know. It wasn't really something that I was just looking to do. It's just like the opportunity came, and I think it, you know, isn't gonna happen. But uh, yeah, yeah, I think it would be different.
Well, if it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
doesn't mean there's still not something else out there that you can be passionate
So
about.
that's what I was thinking about. Like, if it doesn't happen there, could it happen somewhere else? The answer is 100%. Yeah, but
You don't seem like the man to quit anything.
no, I'm not. But I look at things differently now. Like as far as business goes, like you know, I think ownership is like the main thing. You know what I mean? So like being a franchisee, yeah, I own a pizza shop, but really I just like own equipment and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
in ownership, I mean,
Your name's not on it.
not only my name, but like like I need a building.
Yeah.
I need something. You know what I mean? And like so that's what I say when I
It's
say
not your recipe. It's
Yeah.
not your ingredients.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
You're doing what you're told.
Yeah, yeah. So and look, it's worked for me, and like I'm grateful. But there is the thing where I'm like, sometimes I just want to be me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't feel like I could always do that, like that. You know?
Sounds like it's something important to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I think going through everything that I've gone through has made me want to get back to who I am and the things that I like to do. You know what I mean? And it's funny, like when I was bodybuilding, I always used to say like I'm not Italian anymore because like I'm not eating frickin' gabagool and prosciutto sandwiches. You know what I mean? I'm eating chicken and rice. You know what I mean? And like that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like,
Basic bitch.
yeah, like dude, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's only so many ways to make chicken and rice.
And none of them involve marinara
No.
or Parmesan.
Yeah, like you can't. I can't even put like some marsala sauce on there. You know what I mean? Not that I'm like some great cook. I'm not. You know what I mean? But my family is. But yeah, it's just mundane chicken and rice, man. I
That's
do.
what it takes.
Yeah, I know. I ate a pound of ground beef the other day.
In one sitting?
Yeah,
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I just wanted to do it. Like, dude. Well, I mean, you know, everyone's always talking about like the grass-fed beef and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that shit. So I just wanted to see what that was all about, and I liked it. It was good. Did like you know what I'm talking about? Like the
Yeah.
carnivore diet.
Yes.
I was
okay.
just like dabbling. I'm like,
I
what?
needed more context.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
know. Sorry, I'm not always the best at explaining myself.
I ate a pound of beef the other day. And it was cool.
No, but yeah, like I put the salt on it and everything.
Yeah.
It was good. I really liked it. Like I was like, man, I feel like clean. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there's studies that show that the carnivore diet's a good thing.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, they say what gluten, processed carbs. That's what is kind of tearing our guts apart,
yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
there's truth to that,
I mean, I don't know anymore because like I feel like I'm so far removed from the health.
right?
You know what I mean? Industry just in general. But I kind of like want to get back to that too.
Let's see if you have any strength left.
Oh shit. So how do we do this?
I'll take care of
What?
everything except for the arm wrestling on your side part.
All
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question, Greg,
Okay.
as we do this.
Let me move in here a little bit.
Yep, make yourself comfortable.
I mean, I'm either going to be really good or really bad.
Well, this is
We'll
for
see.
entertainment / I do like a little bit of a challenge.
You got big hands.
I've been told. Isn't this where I add in the that's what she said?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question as we do this, Greg.
Okay.
All right, start when you're ready.
Start what?
You start when you're ready.
Oh, shit. Okay. I mean, like, am I really trying to beat you?
Greg, if you could give your daughter a message 10 years from now, what would it be?
Never quit. Follow your heart. You're a strong dude.
All right, we're good. That's good. Thank you.
I couldn't go down there.
Never
Yeah.
quit.
Never quit. Follow your heart. That's a little cliche. I don't want that. I just think never. No. Consistency. Yeah, consistency. I think in anything that I've ever done, when I've at my age now, not that I'm old or anything like that, but you have a little more knowledge at 37 than you do in your late 20s, early 30s. Consistency was always where I went wrong. Where if I could have just been more consistent rather than all in, I would have done better.
Okay.
It's funny because like I hate LeBron James, but he's the epitome of consistency, which people call him the GOAT for. I don't think he is, but sometimes I think about it and I'm like, it's exactly what needs to be done to be the GOAT.
You're talking like work ethic,
Yes.
routine,
Yes.
things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So consistency. If she's anything like me or her mother, she's gonna be business oriented or driven to do something.
Yeah.
So I would say consistency.
I like it.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Fina, right?
Yeah. Fina. Yep.
So when she looks back at this, because this is going to be on YouTube forever.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy to think.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It really
Unless
is.
I cancel this, which is never happening. Because Joe Rogan, I'm coming for you, buddy.
Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, all joking aside, Greg, this is a documentation of this point of your life too. This is something you're going to look back on.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully,
Yeah.
years from now.
Yeah.
And you might think totally different things. Or you might be like, or this could motivate you in the future too.
Yeah.
You could watch this and be like, I haven't done anything that I said I was going to do on that show.
Yeah.
So I better get my ass in gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But
Interesting to think about.
yeah,
Yeah.
I dig deep. Do you have any questions for me, Greg, before we close out? Anything that you didn't get off your chest? Any message to the viewer?
No, I'm like real worried about this arm wrestling thing right now. I feel like I was a little like too leaned into it, and I was just like, I looked like I was trying too hard. You didn't seem like you were trying that hard.
So it's bothering you.
Yeah.
Well, there's no redos. This is documented forever.
Yeah, I know. It's like you can't take it out. The fuck?
No. Look, no one's going to think any less of you, Greg, because of that performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I
hope
promise.
not. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it if you wouldn't.
I've only lost once.
Really?
And you're 51?
Yeah.
Well, 2 of them were me. I didn't arm wrestle myself.
Yeah.
So 51 minus 2.
Yeah. You got like the length.
Carry the 1.
Gives you the shoulder.
49.
I understand that,
And look, I've been out of my routine for a little while now due to my own little health issues. So
Yeah,
I don't feel myself.
That's, that's a scary thing to deal with.
Yep.
And I wish you the best.
We're looking up, buddy.
Yeah.
I got a job offer this week.
There you go.
Let's go.
That's good.
Things are looking up.
Good.
But like you said, those things that happen to you happen to you for a reason, and your life is better now because of it.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Well, it's good. I mean, there's the optimistic and the pessimistic way to look at things, I feel like I realized I was optimistic when I was in high school. Someone randomly asked me if there was milk in a carton, and I said it's half full, and they were like, whoa. And that literally happened, and I was like, dude, I'm an optimistic person. And I've always been like that, So, but yeah, there's really, people need to be leaders. And I think that's the way to be. You know what I mean? For me, I own a business or two, and I have to lead.
Well, you attract what you were pushing out.
100%. Yeah.
So if you're going to be a whiny bitch all day,
100%.
Who's your friend circle going to be?
That's whiny
Who's your
bitches.
network going to be?
Yeah. I mean, it's horrible. Like, but that's true. You know what I mean? But like, you're training people, like you can't, you're leading them on how to be. You know what I mean? You can't be like, well, just keep complaining and you're going to, no, fuck no. Like you need to be a leader and show them the way to be.
Yeah. I'm annoyingly optimistic at times.
Yeah.
But I had the same attitude you do. Like when I asked, do you have any hatred?
Yeah.
It's like, why am I going to waste my time being negative about everything?
Yeah. I mean, it really does nothing for you.
Nope.
Wasted time, wasted emotion. heading to nothing.
Yep. Dude, it's been awesome talking to you. Seriously, like,
Yeah.
look, I knew the bare minimal of your story, but you run deep, dude.
I'm glad to hear that, because I'm like, I worry that I don't express myself.
Yeah, I think that's I hate to say a guy thing.
Yeah.
It's tough for men to open up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I hope you felt comfortable here
I
opening
did.
up.
I did. That
helps.
didn't hurt.
We should have had that right off the bat.
But, yeah, I know. But like, for the most part, I mean, that was at the end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
So all of what you said pre this
yeah.
was 100% Greg
Yeah.
and 0% Penelope,
Yeah.
right?
It's a great name.
Little Penelope.
It's a great name.
But hey guys, if you like this episode, please click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps me. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to grow people like Greg sitting here, the strength that he has. I'm trying to bring more guests on here to share their stories and help viewers just like you. Watch one of these episodes, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode of Barbells and Bourbon. Peace.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That was a good time, dude.